Mom, mom, I love you, and I'm gonna miss you. And there is so much that I want to say about you, but I'm just gonna keep it simple, and I'm just gonna break your name down into what I really feel about you. And your full beautiful name is Natalie. So N is for the natural, beautiful mom that I always grew up seeing. I love that you did not love wearing makeup and you didn't like wearing lipstick and all that stuff, but you just had this natural beauty about you. And you had these beautiful white teeth and this smile that seems like, I don't know, Ma, you just was always just naturally beautiful, and I always admired that about you. A is how active you were. You were so active in everything that you did. You were active in the way that you raised our family. You were active in the way that you did your career. You were active in the way that you worked in the church. And you were active in the way that you walked too. You were only 5'4.5", but you was a quick walker. And even though you was a little person, you got to your destinations quickly. And for some reason, I have that same habit of walking real fast. And I always admire that about you because it seemed like we just never could keep up with you. And I know why we couldn't keep up with you, because you was always, you had your mind focused on always doing something and doing something good for other people. Talkative. T for talkative. You talked a lot, Mama. My mother loved to talk. And I have that same, I guess that same characteristic, just talk. She can talk you under the table, so to speak. But when she spoke to you, she always took out time, and the words and the wisdom that she gave you, even when she was fussing. You know, my mother talked really fast, but my mother got her point across, and you were going to listen to what she had to say, and she was going to say everything she had to say within that talk time of hers. So that was one thing that you did. You loved to talk a lot. And I admire that about you because I picked that up too, Mom. I love to talk too. Assertive. I love how assertive you were. I love how even in your career, my mother used to work with Child Protective Services. She also worked with social services. When she moved here, she then opened her own daycare. And my mother, she never, even in her church career, Mother went to Bible college. Mother just was assertive. And I love the way that she did public speaking. Like whenever she had to do a sermon or work in a training program, I just loved how she just had a gift of speaking to people and how she could just really embrace an audience with her words. And I just admired that about her. She was just very intelligent. Okay, L in your name is loving the Lord. You really showed me how to love Jesus. You not only preached it, but you also lived that. And you taught me how to love God, how to talk to God, how to make God a part of my life. You even taught me how to teach my girls how to love God. And I love the way that you not only just told us that God was supposed to be very important in our lives, but I love the way that you took out the time and you would pray with us. And I love how you taught me how to speak about fleeces. Like if if anything happens, like a fleece is, it's like a sign from God. And I love how you would say, well, if you don't understand something, just put a fleece out. Like if you see a car go if you see a white car go by, then you're supposed to do that. And that's one of the things that I loved about you. I love also, Mom, that you never allowed a person's title in the church world to, God, I can't think of the word. Cut that out, Leon. You never allowed a person's title to determine my self-worth as a person. I have this particular story. I went to this church when I was pregnant with my second child. I was married, I was pregnant, I was going to school, and I love the way that you always took up for me, regardless. No matter what age I was, you took up for me. And this prophet, you know, he called me in front of the church, and he said, well, the Lord told me that you have been clubbing, and you have been doing this and that, and all of these were lies. All of these were lies. And I just felt just horrible. And I knew that it wasn't true because I was pregnant and going to school and just, you know, living my married, happy life and also had morning sickness. But this prophet, he said that I was guilty of these things. And I love the way my mom, after church, she went to this prophet, and he was from another area, and my mother had her Bible in her hand and her pocketbook, because she was always a lady. She always had these pretty hats on. She was well dressed. My mother loved to dress nice. And my mother approached this prophet, and this man was probably 6'4", and my mother, she went in. She told that prophet, you don't talk to my daughter like that. My daughter, that was my daughter you was talking to. My daughter is not guilty of none of that. My daughter is married and she goes to school, and my mother's hat was going back and forth, and she still held her Bible. And the man said to her, he said, well, I'm sorry, I apologize. You want me to speak to your daughter? And my mother said, no. My daughter does not want to speak to you. And if you want to ask for forgiveness, you need to tell it to Jesus. And, you know, that is just who my mother was. My mother, she always took up for me, even in my adulthood. And she called me that night and she said, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And I just really admired that about her. I loved how she really loved me, and how she took up for me, and how she, no matter who you are, she was going to speak for the Christ that she knew that was in her daughter. And she was like, no, I'm going to get this straight. So I love that about you, Mom. I is for the ingenious. You were so ingenious. Like, she had, her favorite color is gold. She loved gold because gold was beautiful and sparkly. She intertwined that into her wardrobe. She was very artsy. My mother could draw. She could freehand draw things, very crafty. And when she did like DIYs or floor arrangements and things, and even with just decorative things, she just had a gift, and it always came out looking beautiful. I love how whenever I had a birthday, she would make beautiful corsages for me, and you know, she just made us feel very special growing up. And then E is for, the E in her name is easy to talk to. Mother, you were just so easy to talk to, and I'm not even going to sit here and say goodbye to you, because I'm still going to talk to you. I just believe that my mother is always going to be with me. She's always going to be near me, and I'm going to love you always. And I'm just so thankful and grateful that I can call you Mom. I love you, Mom.